Here with head coach Brad Laird, the Demons heading back at home. Been a while since we've been able to say that. At home, Saturday for homecoming against Southeast Missouri. Coach, let's start with this past Saturday night. You got the fast start you wanted. It's got to be fun as a coach when your players listen and you get the result you've been preaching about.
Yeah, and I guess it goes back to how they prepared. We talked about it on Monday earlier in the week, and we've been talking about it throughout the year, but really emphasized it this week and how we approach practice. And I think you saw how they approached practice and their preparation, showed Saturday night against Houston Christian.
You got the fast start. You hit adversity in the middle, slowed down a little bit, but finished strong. I think this may be a little bit kind of a microcosm of the season.
Yeah, and we had talked about that. We wanted to start fast and then keep the foot on the pedal, which I thought we did, but we knew, in a 60-minute ball game, you're going to hit adversity. What I was proud of is how we handled that. It was 24-0. They cut it to a 2-score game to make it 24-10. But our guys turned towards each other and really, bought in. And then you saw us kind of go on a run to finish the game by scoring the last 2 drives and then playing well defensively. So I liked the way we were able to handle the adversity right there in about 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
Defensively allowed just 267 yards, arguably, numerically, certainly the best performance of the year from the Purple Swarm. And one of the guys in that, Keenan Leachman, got his first career interception, nearly took it to the house. For him, he's a guy that started the year as a starter, got injured, lost his job, came back, and may be in the starting lineup sooner rather than later. Good lesson for the guys, but also a guy that's been around for a long time and has kind of waited his turn and is taking advantage of it.
Yeah, and the thing that we talk about is you never know when the opportunity is going to come. And, he's one that, just continued to work and has fought back, was a starter, and now not. And now he's coming in as a backup, but being able to make plays. And that was a big interception for him. Big momentum, in that game. Not only the interception, but to get it down to, I think, the 3 or 4 yard line. One play later, we score.
He's also a guy that's taken a lot of leadership. And it's a veteran defense. I mean, there are a lot of leaders. He certainly has to be one of those.
Yeah, and I just think his experience over the last several years, how he's put himself in position and worked to get himself in position to have the opportunity to be successful and play. I think, and the rest of the team sees the work that he's put in that has allowed him to have the opportunity to play.
Not only that, he's a leader on campus. He's very involved, and that's something that takes a lot to balance the effort he puts forth in practice, the job he's done on the field, and the job as a campus leader that people look up to.
Yeah, with in his fraternity and the impact that he has, not just being in the fraternity, but he has a big impact in what they do on campus. And so it's good to see because, to balance what you do on the field with what you do off the field, not only in that, but also his studies.
We'll turn our attention to Southeast Missouri now, and that's, you and I just talked about it before we hit the play button or hit the record button. First time seeing this team, Demons and Red Hawks have never met on the field, so it presents a unique challenge.
Yeah, these games are fun. When you go against somebody that you don't know a lot about, you do know that they've had a very successful year. Right now, they're 5-1. I think one poll they're actually ranked 15th or 16th in that poll. So you got a good football team that's coming in that's had a great year. So we look forward to the opportunity to play at home. It's always good to get back home and play in Turpin Stadium, but also the competition, a playoff type of football team that's coming to Turpin Stadium.
It's homecoming, so there's always going to be a little extra oomph in the air. But the way the schedule's set up this year, you don't have one single road game. It's multiple road games in a row. Does that make those chances you do get to come home feel even more special?
Well, yeah, for the simple fact that there's nothing like playing in Turpin Stadium. And, this year we only get 4 opportunities to do that. So we want to make sure that we take advantage of every opportunity. And, when you talk about homecoming, a lot of alumni circle this weekend as maybe the only weekend that they come back to Natchitoches. So we know there's going to be a lot of former players, former alumni that's coming back, and we want to make sure that we put a good product on the field on Saturday.
We talked about balance when we talked about Keenan Leachman, but offensively a little bit more balance, a little more productive running game last week. I know talked to Joey Milburn, the offensive line took a lot of pride in that, but Kenneth Lacey, we touched on it Saturday night after the game, was kind of questionable leading in and comes in and turns into your first 100-yard rusher in a year and a half.
Yeah, we had a lot of injuries at that position really over the last couple of weeks, and really going into this week, not sure who the guy was going to be. So it was good to see Kenneth step up with some big runs to be able to get over the 100-yard mark. We've relied so much on Zach as far as running the football. It was good to see some other guys step up, and I think all of them would turn that credit back to the offensive line. I think they did a great job to be able to open up holes for the running backs.
Balance is something SEMO seems to do very well offensively. Second OVC matchup of the year. You've seen Eastern Illinois, maybe a completely different scheme. Do you get anything when you play a second team from this conference? Is there any similarities to a style or a feel when you take on a second conference opponent?
No, I guess when you break those teams down, they're different with what they want to do and how they go about doing it offensively and defensively. So really, besides them being in the same conference, you really don't get anything out of it. You just, by watching Southeast Missouri, you talk about them offensively. Starts with the quarterback. He does a great job getting the ball downfield. He's got some playmakers that he tries to get the ball to down the field, some big, tall receivers. And then Hess, the running back, that's close to 700 yards already this year, does a great job running the football, and they do a great job up front.
You touched on it. The biggest difference, I guess, maybe in playing these two OVC teams this year, the night before this time, you're at home in your bed.
Yeah, it is, with the opportunity to play here in Turpin Stadium. And, we only have 2 of these left, so we want to make sure that we take advantage of this opportunity.
All right, Coach, appreciate your time.